Hello, how are you? Happy Monday. Gonna check to make sure that we are in fact online. Going into my group here where I am hosting this live. Good. Perfect. All right, so we are in fact live. Excuse me. So if you are new joining me, my name is Stephanie Manley. I am the founder of Calculated Profits and this new group, Rescue My Bookkeeping Business. So if you are hopping on, if you will comment hello, hashtag live. And as a reminder, I am streaming StreamYard today in the group, which means I cannot see your name. It'll just come up Facebook user. So if you will give StreamYard permission for me to see who it is, that would be amazing. So I'm going to wait a second. I know several of you told me that you were hopping on today. So again, if you'll just say hello, that way I know you're here and who's here. That way I can reach out to you after the live in case you have any questions. Woo. It's chilly where I'm at today. How are you guys doing? Let's see. I see some comments coming in. Hey, I don't know who you are, but hello. You have to give StreamYard permission. Let me check and see who you are here. And hosting this live. There we go. Oh, Jessica. Hi, Jessica. How are you? All right. So I'm just going to hop in real quick. Guys, if you're just joining me, remember to give StreamYard permission for me to see who you are. And you'll just say hello. Let me know that you're here so that I can follow up with you later. And if you don't want to give StreamYard permission, that's fine. Just say, hi, I'm Susie, whatever your name is, right? All right. So last week, if you missed my live last week, go back and watch it. But it was all about your ideal client avatar. So your ICA, and why I feel that it's very important that you narrow that down. Now, I do not believe that you have to narrow that down in the beginning to start your bookkeeping business. Probably not a good idea because you don't really know who you like to work with, right? And I have continually narrowed my ICA down. I've actually narrowed it down even more over the last 6 months. And I talked to you all about that in the last live. And I have a worksheet for you. If you want it, reach out to me and I'll send you over the free worksheet of how you can determine who your ideal client is. And it's called an avatar because I really want you to put a picture, right? Like somebody to that. So just, think about an avatar. I want you actually to have that. But today we are actually going to focus on one specific system, workflow or system. And I've told you throughout the last week that I have my systems broke down into 4 different categories. The first being onboarding, so bringing on a new client. There's a backside of that, which is offboarding as well. And then I have my admin task. That's going to be like email, phone calls, like things like that would be admin. And then my accounting task. Those are going to be the tasks that we do on a weekly, monthly, quarterly basis for our clients. And then also my marketing tasks. So those are the 4 workflows or systems and processes that I have for my business. And today we're actually going to talk about and go in depth on the onboarding. So I'm going to make sure there's no more questions. Awesome. All right. So we're going to talk about the onboarding process today. And if you have questions throughout this, I'm here to help you guys. Okay. So that's what this training is for. I go live every week, usually on Thursdays, but last week I was on vacation and we had horrible reception in the mountains. So I had to push it to today. So thank you for being patient with me, but I will be live again on this Thursday at 2:00. So just mark your calendars. Every Thursday, 2:00, I'll be live doing some type of training on how to rescue your bookkeeping business. Okay. Today's is about onboarding. drop your name in the comments so I can reach out to you and send you some goodies at the end of this live. But if you have any questions as I'm going, drop them in the comments so that I can help you with those, because that is what I am here for. Okay. All right. And don't forget StreamYard. I got to get permission. All right. So onboarding process, what does that look like? Many of you have told me, I actually spoke with someone last week who's actually going to be doing my Bookkeeper's Blueprint soon. But the one thing she told me is, I have narrowed down my client. I think I've narrowed it down pretty well. And I have these calls with clients, but then they're like, oh, well, I'll call you back, or I'll email you back. And she never hears back from them, right? The percentage of closure is low. And I'm telling you, the reason for that is 99% of the time, your onboarding process is not where it should be. Okay. It's not streamlined enough. And I know I posted this week about 2 scenarios, right? If you went with a client, if you had a client, say you're trying to build a website, I think that's what I used. And you were able to go to their website, you're able to click a link, you're able to give them a little bit of information, you're able to set up an appointment, get on a phone call with them. Everything was just so smooth, right? It was really easy. That designer is going to close an account so much faster than somebody who I'm going to have to work to actually become a client of theirs. Okay. So if your potential clients are having to work at it, if they're having to do all the work in the beginning just to get a consult with you, then they're going to go from the beginning and be like, oh, never mind. This isn't going to work. So your onboarding process has to be super, super, super smooth in order to land those clients. Because if it's not smooth, you're just going to lose them from the get-go, right? All right. Remember, drop your comments if you have any questions. Just drop them in the comments. So how this looks for me, and this does not mean it would look like this for you. In my Bookkeeper's Blueprint, we actually map out the onboarding process that's easiest for you. But I'm going to tell you how mine works so you can kind of compare to what yours is. And you tell me, is it similar? Is it different? Like, what steps are you missing? Okay. So in every workflow and every process, you have what I call my tech stack. These are the systems. These are the tools in place. And I'm going to tell you what mine are. Okay. So for onboarding, I have 4 tools. My camera's kind of wonky here. 4 tools that I use in my onboarding. So the first thing is going to be a system called Dubsado. Okay. I use Dubsado. There's several other 17 Hats. Oh my goodness, Honeybook is another. Tell me if you use any of those in the comments. The second part of my onboarding process is Calendly, and that is an appointment scheduler. Okay, there's so many of those out there as well. You've got Acuity, you have, oh my goodness, there's several of them. I'm trying to think of the other ones. And then the third thing in my tech stack is Zoom, very important. And the fourth thing is my Google Calendar. So I use Google for email, and therefore I integrate my calendar with Zoom and with Calendly and Dubsado, like it all connects together. Okay. So those are the 4 things that I use on my onboarding process. Tell me what you use, or do you use nothing? Tell me what you use. Okay. So how the process works for me is a client finds maybe an ad. Actually, not an ad, because I don't do any paid advertising. Maybe they see a post. Maybe they've seen my YouTube channel. Maybe they've been referred by another client. They go to my website. Like, there is a link in several different places that's the same link. And that link will, and it's for a free introduction call. That's how I start my onboarding process. So they want to become a client of mine. They want to see how that works. Then we do a free intro consult. And I do this for several reasons. One, I want to get to know the client to make sure that they are my ideal client, right? I want them to know me. I want to see if we mesh well. That's super, super, super important that you do that. So I do a free introductory call. All right. So a client has decided, or a potential client has decided, I want to talk to her about doing my bookkeeping. They would click the link. This link will then take them to a funnel, which is inside of Dubsado. that I have set up, right? All the different steps. So they click the link, they go to the funnel, and it says, thank you so much. I'm so happy to work with you, blah, 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 right? And in this funnel, it's going to ask them certain questions. This is so important. And this is a step that a lot of bookkeepers miss. I missed it for many, 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 many years. Being in a brick and mortar, I didn't do this, right? They would call, they would schedule an appointment. I would chit chat with them over the phone, or they would come in. We didn't do all this, but this workflow, this funnel for intro is so important. They click the link, they open the Dubsado form, and in the Dubsado form, that's very customized, right, for my business, it asks them questions that I want to know upfront before I have the intro call. It doesn't mean that I'm screening them not to have an intro. They're still going to get an intro with me regardless, right? Whether I think they're a good fit or not. And maybe one day I'll stream it down and not do that. But right now, I love talking to people and I want to help them. So they're going to fill out this form. And the form has many things on it that I need, but it's not overwhelming to the client. So the first thing it's going to ask them for, of course, is their name. It's going to ask them their business name. It's going to ask them what type of business does it have, right? Because they can say, I'm ABC Distributing. Well, that doesn't tell me anything. I need to know, like, what type of business? What do you do? Tell me about your business, right? And then I want to know how long they've been in business. That'll help me. And also very important, and I used to not ask this question, but it is very, very important. You ask them what is their monthly gross revenue or their monthly revenue. Okay. And I have a comment. So I'm going to look at this. I've used Dubsado with Honeybook. I preferred Honeybook. It was a lot cleaner looking, but personally, I'm not getting enough new folks to make it worth the cost at this time. Absolutely. So Amber, that sounds to me like we need to go back a little further than just onboarding. And we can talk about that in a DM as well. But so maybe you're not getting enough new leads to do the onboarding. Okay. And if that's you, just guys, put that in the comments as well, and I can help you. But once you're getting the new leads, then you're in the onboarding phase, right? So they answer these questions. The last question is going to be, how much is your gross revenue for the month? And the reason that I ask that is because I know what my starting rate is, okay? If I can look at their gross revenue and say they can't afford me, then I know that from the beginning going in. Like, I already have that in the back of my mind so that I'm thinking of other ways that I can help them. I'm not going into that intro call just to land a sale. I'm going into that intro call to serve. And that's very important too in this industry. You have to focus on serving, not about selling. Because if you're all about selling, you'll never sell a thing. Okay, you have to serve. So I'm going in and I need to know this amount. So I know, do I have some freebies that I can offer this client? Can I give them some advice on this intro call that maybe it won't help me in my business right now? Maybe in the future it will. But I want to help this client really know about their business finances. So I ask them that question in their very first form that they complete. Okay, so they click a link. They fill out the form. They hit submit on the form, and it automatically takes them to my calendar, which is in Calendly, which is linked to my Google Calendar. So I don't double book anymore. Guys, I'm huge on a calendar, Everything is on my calendar, down to family time. I homeschool 2 of our children. So that is, I have homeschool time dedicated every single day for that. I have times that I work on my business, and I have times that I work in my business. If you don't know the difference, send me a DM and I'll help you with that. But you have to work in and on, not just one or the other. So all that is on my calendar. They go to the calendar link and they see the times that I'm available to them on certain days. Another thing I'll tell you about your calendar, and maybe I'm getting a little off here, but it's important that you schedule certain days for certain things. Okay. I have meetings with my clients every single month. I don't want an intro call right in the middle of strategy calls for the day. So I have my calendar set. I only do strategy calls on certain days. I only do intro calls on certain days. So that way my mindset is right for that call. And that's important. Okay. So they fill out the form, they hit submit. They are now at my calendar and they've selected a time and a day that is best for them. My intro calls are 30 minutes. That's it. Okay. Any questions so far? Pop them in the comments. See, several of you are online, which is awesome, but I'd love to see who you are so I can reach out to you later. So tell me, hey. All right. So they've scheduled the link and they've scheduled their intro call. Once they're on that free intro call with me, I want to know all about their business. Okay. I already know generally going in, and I ask those questions in the beginning because, again, 30 minutes is not a whole lot of time to talk about their business finances. But if I know some of that stuff in the beginning, I know what their business is, I know how long they've been in business, I can go search them a little bit, right? Go stalk them a little bit on Facebook. Get to know a little bit about their business. Get to know a little bit about their personality. Super important, right? Hey, Bunny, how are you? And then we will, from there, during that call, I want to ask them certain things. And I have an intro call form that I have usually sit in front of me on an iPad. So I'm sitting here on a Zoom on my laptop and I have my iPad sitting here and I'm like going through all the things, right? I'm also a very huge pen and paper girl. I'm actually sitting here, as you can see, I have notes on like a little notebook. I'm a pen and paper girl. I know technology is wonderful and it's great. My husband tells me all the time, get rid of the pen and paper, but that's just me. I love pen and paper. So I'm jotting notes or I'm typing them out on my iPad, certain things that I need to know about their business. But the very most important thing, if you learn nothing else about this live, the very first thing, or not first thing, but most important thing I want you to find out on that discovery call, right, is what is their biggest pain point when it comes to their business finances. Okay. Seems very simple, but most people forget to ask that. Why do I want to know what their biggest pain point is? And some of you may go, well, their biggest pain point is their finances are a wreck. They don't have a clue and they need their bookkeeping done. That's not their biggest pain point. I'm here to tell you. Okay. And I'll tell you why. So for example, let's have client A. Client A is Susie. She is a stay-at-home mom of 3 kids, all under the age of 5. And her husband works all the time. And she decided she wanted to start a consulting business, a coaching business. Okay. She's done really well. And her finances, she knows now, you know what, I better get on my finances because business is booming and I haven't done anything and I need some help. All right. And she comes to you not because her business is a mess. She comes to you because she doesn't have the time to work on her business finances because she wants to be a mama. She's too busy being a mama. She doesn't have the time that she wants with her kids. It has nothing to do with her finances or a wreck. It has nothing to do with the fact that she can't do it herself. Okay. She's smart enough to use the QuickBooks. She knows what she's doing. She just doesn't have the time. So her pain point is going to be time. More importantly, her pain point is going to be the fact that she doesn't have the time to spend with her kids. Okay. So I know what Susie's pain point is. Okay. Now you might have another call with another client and they may tell you that their pain point is that they want to really know what they have all these products, but they don't know what's making them money. Okay. So they feel like they're spinning their wheels, coming up with all these different things, and they have no clue what's making them money. Well, I'm going to go into this call later when I tell them how I can help them totally different. At the end of the day, are we still offering bookkeeping services? Yes. Am I still giving them financial statements and explaining them to them? Yes. But I'm going to go about it differently between Susie and the other potential client. We'll call her Rachel. I don't know. I'm just throwing names out here. Okay. So with Susie later, after I talk with her, or after she tells me all about her business and, you know, how she never has time with her kids and she just really needs some help, then I go in then at the end and say, you know, Susie, I get it. I'm a mama too. And it's really hard some days for me to have that work-life balance. And I get it. And kudos on you for reaching out to someone who can help you to eliminate some things that are on your plate, such as your bookkeeping. And this is how I can help you. So then I would go through the process with her of how my monthly bookkeeping works. Okay. And then I would say, does that sound like something that you're interested in? Always ask the client those questions. Always ask before you give them information. Like, are you okay with me giving you this information? How does this sound to you? Right? So Susie says, you know what? That sounds great. What do we do? How do we get started? Well, the next step in my onboarding process is to do a diagnostic review of their books. Okay. And so what will happen is after the intro call, I will set up an appointment. Actually, during the call, I will say, okay, Susie, so if you are interested in moving forward, then I'm going to set up a diagnostic review of your QuickBooks. Maybe they have QuickBooks. I'm assuming Susie does. And let me look at it. Let me see what's going on. Let me see what needs to be done in your books. Okay. I used to be one who would just charge X amount of dollars right in the beginning without ever looking at the client's books. And that was horrible. Don't do that. Okay. So many bookkeepers do. Don't do it. All right. You need to get into their books. You need to see what's going on. So that's what I do. So I set up a diagnostic review appointment for them. I usually do it maximum 3 days from the intro call because they're ready. They want help. So within 3 days, I set up another intro call. This is another diagnostic review call. This is 30 minutes. In the meantime, they're going to get an email from me giving them exact instructions on how to allow me to access their QuickBooks file so I can go and look around. I don't change anything, but I go over my review spreadsheet. I have a spreadsheet that I use that I look at all different things, right? We want to know when was the last reconciliation done. We want to know if there's any amount in undeposited funds. We need to know their balance sheet is right. We need to know, is there anything in their bank feeds that should be categorized? Okay. Is there anything funny in their categorization? All right. Also, you need to look at, are they using Stripe? Are they using PayPal? Are they using any kind of credit card merchant that they have not been increasing their revenue for those credit card fees? Because remember, if you're using Stripe or you're using PayPal, the amount that comes over in your bank fees is the net gross. It's not the gross. So their books are out of whack from the beginning. Okay. I look at their services. Are they separated out? If I know they have different types of services, maybe they have a coaching program, but they have like 4 different types of coaching programs. Well, I want their income separated out separately so we can track that. Okay. Do they have a lot of categories and expenses or not enough? That's another thing that I look at a lot as well. Okay. So I go through, I do that within, it takes me roughly 30 minutes to do a quick diagnostic review. And then I talk to them during the diagnostic review appointment. And I go over and I say, Susie, I looked at your books and, I found these things. For example, you're using Stripe, but I don't see that you are really reconciling that income and your fees correctly. So that would be something that I recommend that needs to be changed. Okay. Again, I didn't charge for this review. I did not charge for the intro. So I'm not necessarily telling her how to fix it. I'm just telling her what's wrong. Right. So the Stripe is an issue. I would personally go in and change your expense categories around a little bit. You're a coaching business. You have a lot of marketing, and I want to really funnel that down to different things. Facebook ads versus, oh my goodness, website fees, different things. I want to break that down so we can really hone in on where you're spending your money so that I can help you with profit strategizing later. Okay. So I would go through these things with a diagnostic review. It takes about 30 minutes. And I would ask Susie at that point, does all this make sense to you? Do you have any other questions? And, are you ready for me to get started working on your bookkeeping? And Susie says, yeah, I'm ready to move forward. So I tell Susie that, well, to get started, I've looked at your books and we really need to do a catch up for the last, it's October now, right? And let's face it, a lot of people are going to come to you in the last several months of the year and their books are way out of whack. Maybe they hadn't even done it. So you guys need to charge for catch up. Don't just start today and say, okay, well, my monthly fee, I'm going to start this month and my monthly fee is X and I'm going to charge it, but I'm going to clean up all this stuff for free. Don't do that. You're spending time on something you're not getting paid for. So I would tell Susie, I've got 10 months of cleanup to do, and this is my cleanup rate. And then moving forward, your monthly rate will be X, because I've determined that because I went into her QuickBooks. I know how many transactions she has. I know where her revenue is coming from. I know the work involved. Okay. So I have a minimal, and then I look at their transactions and I determine and do a customized proposal for them. Okay. Then I go over, I have different services in my business, tax preparation, CFO services, bookkeeping, and we would talk about that. What are you interested in doing? This is what this looks like. And I would send Susie over a proposal of these are the things. I usually send three different packages. Which one of these three would you like to do? My starting rate is X. I tell her that on the phone. I'm going to send you over a proposal detailing out exactly what each specific service offering has and the fee for each. You select which one you would like, and then the next step in onboarding is going to be that you're going to receive a contract from me. And guys, it's super important that you have a contract with your bookkeeping clients so that it's outlined exactly what you're doing, how much you're charging, and what the responsibilities of your client are. Okay. If you don't have that laid out, then it can come back and bite you in the hiney later. It needs to be laid out for them exactly what is expected and what they are paying you to do. And anything over that, like I have in my contract, anything over this has an hourly rate of X. Okay. Do you have a contract? Tell me, guys, do you have a contract or an engagement letter that you have right now in your business? Do you have that? Tell me if you do. Okay. So once the contract is signed through Dubsado, everything's automatic, right? They hit the button. Dubsado sends them the contract. Good job, buddy. I'm so glad you do. They sign the contract, and then automatically they get an invoice that they pay. They have to pay, if it's catch up, they have to pay half of it up front for me and half of it at the date that we selected, and then their monthly rate as well. I also do recurring monthly charges. So I don't wait on my client to pay me every month. It is automatically drafted from their bank account, and that's part of their contract. And I highly recommend that you guys have that as well, that you have that set up. So every month, it just hits your bank account on a certain day. You don't worry about them paying you. Okay. And then from there, we really, once the onboarding starts, they will get an email of all the information that I need for onboarding. So I need to know their business entity setup. Don't take their word for it. You want the copy of the paper from the IRS. If they're an LLC, you want a copy of their operating agreement. You need access to their bank account so that you can pull their bank statements. I don't rely on my clients to send me those. I get them myself. That's something I can do. Super simple, right? And then I dive in, catch up everything that needs to be caught up, fix everything that's wrong. And then we schedule our kickoff meeting, which is usually about 2 weeks after onboarding. I give myself a little bit of leeway there. And then during the kickoff call, we talk about things that maybe there's still some outstanding questions, right? Maybe there's something that I have no idea what this particular expense is, never heard of this particular vendor. And so I put that in an Ask Client account in QuickBooks, and we run through those. Okay. And then I go over their books with the client and say, okay, what is the most important thing that you want to get out of this? If I could, wave my magic bookkeeper CFO wand on this, what do you want to get out of your books? And they can usually tell you somewhat enough to be able to really customize their set of books for them. And I spend a little bit of time doing that as well after the kickoff call. For me, I have profit strategy calls with my clients every single month, unless they're on my lower tier, which we do every quarter. But that is something that we talk about. We go over what are the things that they need from their books. If it's return on investment, if that's something that we're looking at, different KPIs, we look at those every month and we strategize on those phone calls. So I'm going to check my comments here. Any questions? Let's see. Somebody says, yes, I do have a contract, but I don't know who you are. Let me check my phone real quick. Maybe that'll tell me. So that's good. Amber says, not yet, working on that this week. Awesome. Amber, if you have any questions when you're doing that, let me know and I will help you with that. Oh, Jessica, yes, you have a contract. Very good. Awesome. Love it. So guys, if you have any questions about the onboarding process, let me know, whether it's tech stack, whether it is contracts. I'm here to help you. Let me know exactly where it is. Where are you at in this process? As a reminder, I still have I have 3 openings right now that are left. You have to get on this before the end of October. I'm not doing as many in November, but I have 3 more spots open for the Bookkeeper's Blueprint. And just to kind of tell you what that is a 13-week intensive deep dive into your business. So we will go through all the things surrounding your business. Ideal client, we'll go through the onboarding process. We'll get that set up for you. We will talk about your admin tasks, getting those processes set up, getting your accounting tasks set up, marketing. We will go through all the things to really maximize your profits on your bookkeeping business. So I'll show you everything that I've done, all the tools that I use, and go through that with you. We'll talk about mindset because that's extremely, extremely important. We'll talk about pricing, all of those things. So if you have any questions about the Bookkeeper's Blueprint, drop them in the comments or send me a direct message. And if you are interested in either the Bookkeeper's Blueprint or you are interested in any kind of bookkeeping coaching, get on my calendar. So here's my link to my bookkeeping. If you'll go to calendly.com/Stephanie-Manley, you can go there and there is a link there for an intro to bookkeeping coaching. So don't do the intro because that's for my bookkeeping clients. Go to the bookkeeper intro. I think it's like a pinky color. I'm big on color code and everything. So if you'll select that, select the time, and we will hop on. It's a free call, hop on a 20-30 minute phone call. And let's see where you are in your business and where I can help you if you have any questions or what have you. So I'm going to open this up for Q&A just for a couple of minutes. This is the place to ask your questions. So anything onboarding related, the tech stack around it, contracts, any of those things. Does anybody have any questions there? Just going to leave it here for a second. Okay, I have a question here. Can you please drop the link in the chat? I will drop the link in the chat as soon as I'm off. It won't let me drop it for some reason while I'm live on StreamYard, but I will definitely drop the link for you. Yes. And if you have not already done so, make sure that you download my freebie. Most of you in here have gotten the freebie. I sent it to you when you registered for my Facebook group. But if you haven't gotten it, you haven't gotten the email, or maybe it just went to spam, who knows, let me know. And I'll actually drop the link for your freebie down here as well. Yes. So thank you so much. I don't know who you are because it says Facebook user, but thank you very much for asking that. Okay. Another question. And I don't know who you are again. Do you charge for the diagnostic review? Oh, Heather, thank you. Sorry. I do not charge for my diagnostic review. So if they come to me wanting bookkeeping services, so they don't know that I do a diagnostic review, right? Until they come in. So they come in, we do the intro call, I find out what their pain points are, tell them how I can solve them. Then I go into the diagnostic review. I don't charge for that. And some bookkeepers do, and I understand that. But mine is not like this extreme big deep dive. It's more of like an overview. So I go in and just look at the main things that most people have mistakes in their business, like the strike fees, too many expense accounts, not enough expense accounts, all those like reconciliations, all those different things. And when I go into that diagnostic review appointment with them, I tell them these are the things that I found that are not right. I don't go into how to fix them. That would be where I would charge. I hope that answers your question. Okay, any other questions? Thank you for that, Heather. All right. I don't see any more questions as of right now. And I've kept you for 35 minutes. So thank you so much for joining me today. If you would drop in the comments if you found this live helpful for you today, that will help me a lot. If there's anything that you need that you want me to change up a little bit in these lives, again, I'm here to serve. I'm not here to sell. I'm here to serve you guys, to really help you and help you with your business, because I wish I had that person when I started out a long time ago, to really help me to streamline things and make my business very much more profitable with less time. Amber, thank you so much. You said it was very helpful. I appreciate that. And guys, coming up on Thursday, we will have another live session at 2. So every Thursday, 2 o'clock, I will be going live in this group. I go live in my bookkeeping group for my bookkeeping clients. I go live there at 1 on Thursdays, and I hop into Rescue My Bookkeeping Business on Thursdays at 2 o'clock. So I hope that you can join me. Put it on your calendar so you will have it. And I'll be announcing Thursday's live subject title later on today or tomorrow. So just keep posted on that and you'll be invited to the event. So again, thank you so much for joining me. Have any other questions, don't hesitate to reach out to me, and I'm here to help. Hope you have a great rest of your Monday. Bye, guys.